Attention gamers. When it comes to banning champs in League of Legends, everyone has their own strategies. Some people ban a counter to their pick, others want to avoid those Deadpool cosplayers that can single-handedly ruin their day. Occasionally people will spite ban an obscure pick that shafted them in their previous game. Others opt into banning a champ that they believe should be removed from the game altogether, and then there are those champs that get banned for having the same name as your ex-girlfriend who betrayed you and ripped your heart out. I'll never forget you, Annie, you filthy slut. But one champ in particular is getting banned way more than any other. Draven, who is sitting at over a 60% ban rate in the highest level of play while having embarrassingly low win rates. And now that Riot threw the arrogant axe thrower a bone in the buff department, this is only going to get worse. Now this surprised me, as in my piss pit elo no one plays this champ because when warding and looking at your map is already a tall order, adding juggling to the list of things to keep track of just makes him unappealing to play. But today I figured we would first see a high elo Draven play and find out just why he's such free low, and then compare it to my own attempt on him in Hard Stucksville to see if getting fed on him is as easy as getting fed using Factor. Factor is the dankest, swankiest, cheapest, tastiest food delivery service that sponsors my content, that comes backed with the healthiest assortment of meals ready to be beamed up and speed ran down your pie hole. You can pay half your paycheck on eating out or settle for fast food and its consequences, or have to put actual effort into cooking, or you can have Factor just knock its way to your door with dank delicious meals every week. It's super easy. You just go to their site and tell the chef your preferences, like how I'm all about the protein and growing my pectorals into something that could fill out a bra one day. Then you take a sneak peek at the meals on the menu, place your order, and bam, like a Luxalt, these are at your door and off cooldown, ready to be heated up and used as a prop in a mukbang. So use my link in the description or code RAW50APR to get 50% off your first box plus 20% the next month of orders. Now, as I mentioned, I would show clips from 2 Draven games, one from my piss pit elo and one from the highest ranks in the world. But no matter what rank, it looks like picking this juggling jag-off forces your team to go balls deep right at the start, and in case this 5-man level 1 tower dive has people confused, this is indeed the challenger game POV. And typically bot lane races to level 2 and then they try to expose the other team for being younger than them. But when people are playing 2019 Tyler 1, you can just all in right off the bat and no shitter can go toe to toe with you in trades. As a hard stuck bot laner, many commenting backseaters would advise me that when pushing the strategy is to ward, watch the mini map, and then make like a fart and blow this shithole when a gank is coming. But this Draven sees a pending 3v2 and decides to go the route of greeting the VZT with a few machetes, which looks like a lost cause. But juggle fuck over here is just like a Bloons tower defense turret programmed to rapid fire shit at the nearest enemy until it's just one very large, very sad astronaut left who famishes to the red buff that his own team gave away. And I don't know the exact strategy behind Skarner support, but it looks like it revolves around Riot Reworks having a fetish for ignoring walls in this game, so he plows Legolas straight into the juggling act for a little river roundup where there's no way they can compete with his damage, as he uses a mere 3 autos to put Mr. Man on the moon back in his own base. At 5 minutes he's worth a 500 gold bounty and is well aware of the little Pepegas that are lining up to claim it, but he knows it, so he calls in Big Fist Felicia because 2 is good enough to take on 3 when one of them is this fed hibachi chef, so they punish such optimistic behavior. The enemy mid laner then tries to salvage the shit fest, but because they have more lane priority than the president boarding a Spirit Airlines flight, they can rotate and gangbang the bladed Betty with ease. Then they return to a normal laning phase where Tyler 1 just deep throats a ship anchor without a single care in the world, knowing that the enemy is more dick than a whore at her bachelorette party. And before the 8-minute mark, this steamroll already has riffed Alexa announcing that a man is legendary. And I guess in Challenger, when a lane is getting just utter shafted, your teammates do try to come and help, but this is looking like it's making the case that you should just not cry over spilt milk, let bygones be bygones, and instead of ganking for them you should just flame the fuck out of them for this monstrosity that they've funded like junglers in my elo do. The groups move the after party to the mid lane, where even though Lunar Lenny has picked up some armor, he still melts like a marshmallow on Mars. Or something like that. Believe it or not, his top laner is getting doggy styled, so I'm sure the northern portion of the enemy team is optimistic, but they haven't met this traveling juggle act of terror who with just 2 items can kill the enemy right clicker in just 3 throws. And he may be 15 and 2, but he's still a level down on their mid laner, which is just a fat fucking meme for another day if you ask me, but thanks to a small gathering of the peanut gallery there will be no Ireliaing in this one. The pressure that is applied seems to never end for the poor morons in red as they are entering the base from so many angles in this video. You could call it Sky Breeze ass as he cleans up the rest of the team with no regard for taking a few measly tower shots and with almost a kill per minute. I guess this is a good demonstration of why so many players at the highest rank want to ban out this champ. But what about at the civilian ranks down in butthole elo? And even though I could confirm from personal experience that people are still banning him, I wanted to test his power myself on an absolute terrible silver hard-stuck ADC player for game 2. This starts with me bush bobbing in hopes that a few naive shitters will come running over to take a pre-game piss in the tall grass, only to be met with a whole lot of adversity in the form of an off-meta support, a juggling douche canoe and a boring arcane character. But we get Ezreal's flash, which makes me think we should just rinse and repeat like this strategy is written on a goddamn shampoo bottle, and we do just that. This Lionel Messi fanboy is caught with his dick out, so all that's left to do is charge up a spinny boy and flash for last throw, and I get first blood. And even though moving my character to the gold icons on the ground adds a level of difficulty to this game that I personally am not nearly ready for, I was still able to chunk any floating weather woman who got in my face, so we held our own in lane knowing that a blood booger was en route. He snot rocketed into battle as their enchantress support committed like a man on one knee with a ring in his hand, but unfortunately there was no happy ending for her in sight. My ball-gagging support was enjoying the damage that we were distributing, but in the back of my mind I was thinking the river was less lit than a cave's anus and I didn't want to push up too far, but she was like, hey, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, maybe that. But to make matters worse, I resumed being dumb as fuck 15 seconds later when I didn't expect Chuckles the annoying shit Ken to camp my lane, so the low elo was starting to show. That said, with even a baseline level of IQ and a YouTube comment section constantly telling me how painful my gameplay is to watch, I'm still able to just plow through any kids who dare tickle me in lane. But this is low elo, remember so clearly. Me and my assigned butt buddy are surprised as shit to see a 4-man unannounced murder palooza in my lane as Syndra is flaming, and I'm learning that this is apparently a 4v5. I opt into not giving up because I am drunk on the power of knowing that my character does 3 times the damage of the opposing characters in my lane, and so despite his little biffle saying there's no chance of him returning, I decide to be that hostage looking for an example to prove the world wrong that this quit meta is for pussies. So I put my money where my mouth is by flooring the gas pedal every time I see blonde boy Cristiano Ronaldo and sparing no cooldown to secure my solo bolo. When I get back to lane I find out I'm going to be playing a game of Surprise You a Dead Bitch, but it was undecided who would be filling which roles in said mini game, and I hate indecisiveness, so I decided that Janna will be the dead bitch this round. We do get a visit from Professor Akali coming down to ask Syndra on a date, but I warn that he is a clickbaiting YouTube mastermind and that we should decline such propaganda as I piss on his parade and then make it out completely unscathed. Our AFK top laner, who we've been told will never return, is now back and jamming, and the little shit-spitting rabbit he was laning against is starting to get FaceTime with the rest of us non-forfeiting hostage holders. Occasionally I would have more run-ins with Ellen DeGeneres asking me if I've seen the latest season of Ted Lasso, but I could give 2 shits about the small talk as I had homicides to commit. I joined forces with the boys to commit vandalism on a local statue because it symbolized toxic masculinity and we wanted to be woke, and anyone in our way was going to get blown up like a hot air balloon. Tarzan's wife did try to insta-give me under my own tower, but fortunately she is trashier than a big black plastic bag, so I say, hey, I bet I can outdo you in the hard stuck department as I chase an assassin into a bush, but my damage is greater than hers, so I win trade a kill. But hey, did you hear the one where a low elo Janna support had good positioning? Yeah, neither did I. Anyways, remember a few minutes ago when my team was losing, we were down a player, I was the evil guy saying we shouldn't give up, which was probably pissing off some people? Well, now we were stomping like horny elephants as no one is safe from my buffed up Qs and everyone in our way gets killed like any viable witnesses in the Epstein trial, and so after being a total shitter and still being able to feel the power of Draven, I could see why he has become the most hated champ to play against in League of Legends. Lulu, Nunu. Lulu riding Nunu, Lulu riding Nunu with an e-girl saying ooh woo. E-girl saying ooh woo with Lulu on top of Nunu in Honolulu. Trying to sue you. A troll to do the voodoo. E-girl saying ooh woo grinding troll to do the voodoo next to Lulu writing Nunu trying to sue you in Honolulu.
Oh yeah, baby.
Rav out.